Thank you. Welcome yet again to another episode of, I don't know what to call this, getting to know people. Anyway, my name is Solomon Tumwesije here at Studio 84 at Luthuli Avenue in Bugolobi, Kampala, Uganda. And today is yet another conversation with an interesting human being. Trust me, you'll know by the end of this episode. Gerry, we have just 30 minutes, so it can't be the other 6 hours that we had the other day.
Pray for me.
Gerry Opoka, many people know her as a dance instructor. They know her for Zumba, for her Zumba classes. But I now know that she's a lot more than that. She has quite a background. I know she has quite a future she's about to tell us. I can't do her an injustice to try and introduce her. So Gerry, please introduce yourself, and then let's get to know you.
Fantastic. Thank you, Solomon. It is an honor for me to be here on a podcast.
Yep.
Yes, Gerry Opoka. I'm a wellness and vitality coach, actually a holistic wellness and vitality coach. I am a mental health advocate. I am a dance fitness instructor and lover of dance. And also, I basically run the business. I'm a mother. I'm a lifeist.
Oh.
Yes, I realize that's a real thing. Like,
oh, really?
Yes, it is.
I have to interrupt there. Many years ago when we were growing up, when they would say lifeist, it would mean something else.
Absolutely, yes. So I was trying to think, like, what can describe who I am and what I feel and how I see the world. And I found that it is a lifeist.
It's a thing.
Yes, we're people who are lovers of life. We're curious about everything. We ask whys of everything in the world. So yes, that is me. I'm a mother.
Yeah.
I said that.
Yeah.
Of two lovely girls, 19 and 16. And I am married to one guy twice.
Oh, really? Oh. Hold on. Initially, it's supposed to be till death. Did you die and come back?
I tested death, and then it didn't quite. It wasn't like the full death. Then I came back. Yeah.
Wow. We shall come back to that death
in 30 minutes.
May God be with us. Gerry, have you always danced? Have you always been a wellness person before that whole life? What were you about? Did you study dance in school?
No, I danced a lot.
Okay.
I was the entertainment prefect in my primary school.
Yeah. Oh, primary.
Yes. And in my A-level school, I was also entertainment prefect. And it was really about dance. When I campaigned, I was dancing. So that's the ground on which I was voted.
Yeah.
But before I got into dance as a real thing, I did corporate work. I worked with MTN for 9.5 years. I worked for Airtel 3.5 years, or was it 4.5 years or something? But basically, about 15 years. There were some little stints in between. So 15 years in the corporate space. And then I knew I'd had it. Like I was done going out for lunch, staying longer. That's the one thing that really broke the camel's back. Then you come back to office and your boss says, "Where have you been?" So, when I left, I didn't know where I wanted to go. I decided to dance in the meantime.
Yeah.
But it was so amazing, so fulfilling to see people come dance with me and then go. And then I had nothing to do all day until the next dance class. I decided this is it. This is what I want to do.
So I am a bit, I am curious, and I always enjoy these stories where people end up doing stuff that is quite unconventional. I was telling someone the other day that when we were growing up, our parents took us to school to study and do specific jobs, either be a civil servant or be a doctor, lawyer, accountant. Yeah. And when we got out of school, those jobs were not there, or they were not enough. And I have a theory, correct me if I'm wrong, maybe I stand to be corrected by a view or something. I think that's why Uganda is the most entrepreneurial country in the world, because we got out, there were no jobs that were promised, so we all had to go out and hustle.
We had to figure things out.
Whoever knew that someone would be a dance instructor for, if you told your parent that, you know what, I'm quitting my job at MTN, I'm going to be a dance instructor, they would look at you like, what have you been smoking?
Absolutely. And I mean, my parents, I'm sure, were asking the question, only I could not hear from wherever they are. But everybody asked me that question. Everyone was like, Gerry.
The ones who are courageous.
Yes, like you have literally gone to senior management level.
Yeah.
How do you dance?
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know. I kept saying, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I was so happy also dancing that their questions very quickly changed from how do you dance to how do you dance? Like,
Exactly.
oh my God, like how can I be you?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, but it takes courage to stay the course. It takes a lot of blocking out of noise.
Yes. And I don't know if that is even courage. It's more from a place of fear. And my fear was, I don't know where this is going, but I was more afraid of going back
Yes.
to formal employment. I was more afraid of towing that straight and narrow line. So I say to myself, I'm going to stick my head in the sand and just dance. I'm going to give it my everything. Like, I don't know what's happening outside this sand, but I'm going to enjoy it. And every time I came out a few months later, people are like, oh, wow. Oh, then I would go back in because, it was safer.
Yeah.
Hiding in the dance until I came out, and now I'm on the cover of a magazine. I'm being interviewed by literally every TV station, every radio station, other magazines, like serious magazines.
Podcast studio.
Podcast studio, yes. I was like, wow, okay, this is, I'm called to model. I first modeled at 42.
Wow.
I was like, this has to be the coolest life ever.
I remember you modeled for my friend Beryl. She had a collection, and what
mother and daughters or something.
Yes.
It was me and my girls.
I better find that photo and insert it right there. I was at that photo shoot. You looked really, really lovely, and Beryl makes very beautiful things.
She does. Now that you're saying that, I'm thinking, yeah, that's where I saw you. That's where I first saw you.
Yes.
It's so interesting.
So, Gerry, because dancing makes you sweat, it opens your mind, it triggers things in your system.
Yes, it does.
How do you end up getting passionate about mental health?
When the ladies came to my class, I thought everyone would come to my class, but only ladies came. And I thought to myself, okay, lemon, let's make lemonade.
Yeah.
I decided to use that space to speak about things that I struggled with. I wanted it to be a space where women felt safe, where also because I was kind of conscious of the fact that I'm not a fitness trainer. I know nothing about it.
Yes.
I know nothing about health, but I can dance.
Yes.
So I said, I'll teach these ladies how to dance and teach them how to let loose. I also used the things that made me not uptight, but the things that made me conscious, self-conscious, were what I was teased about. I was not beautiful enough. I was too dark. I was all these things. So
you're not small enough.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I used that space to say, can we let go of, first of all the labels that put us in boxes? And then when you go from girlfriend to wife,
Yes.
there are things you can no longer do.
Yes.
When you're a mother, there are things you can no longer do, or things you're supposed to do. So I said, when we come to this space, let's first drop all those labels. We're just girls who want to have fun. And then I told them my own stories, and it really started catching on. People started saying, oh, thank you. You've, changed my life. I kept thinking, we just danced. But I realized that we were all carrying around a certain degree of mental unwellness, thinking it was a trophy. The suffering that we were, talking about was a trophy. If I carry a bigger burden, then I'm a better woman. I'm a stronger woman. I'm a better wife because my husband does X, Y, Z. Oh, it's so hard. I'm juggling so many things. And the dancing was allowing people to shed those things. So they're starting to see themselves in a completely new light, and they're surprised. But when they would come to me, I had no idea what they were talking about. One lady came to me and said, Gerry, I need to stop dancing. She'd been with me about 3 weeks. I was like, you are enjoying this so much. It doesn't make sense. She said, I actually want to stop because I'm enjoying it so much. I said, why? She said, I'm worried that if for one reason or another I'm unable to come to class, I'm not going to know what to do with myself because it feels like I found a thing that is so special. I'm afraid of losing it, so I'd rather drop it now. I was like, this is a first. And I said to her, it's okay. It's okay if you can't come. It's fine. Just keep coming. And I can tell you the transformation of her life from where she was to where she is today. Even I look at it and I just say, thank you, God, for using me. Like, thank you so much.
Wow.
So that's how I got into... That's when I started appreciating that mental unwellness is not the guy on the street, the naked guy, the person throwing stones. It is all of us at different degrees. Unattended, it takes us to that guy's level. So one day I went to visit my sister. My sister has struggled with addiction for a long time, but she'd just come back into the country. She was admitted in Butabika Hospital. So I went to see her, and I had loud music. Like, they had like big speakers in one of the wards.
Yes.
I thought, if they can play music that loud,
then they can dance.
Maybe they can let us dance. But I wanted to dance with the addicts because I thought they're not sick. They just drink a lot. And they understand this music and they're cool like me. The hospital said, no, go and dance with the other patients. I refused. They insisted. Eventually they said yes. I said yes on condition they allowed some of the cool addicts.
People. Yes, the one who understand the dancing.
To come with us. But when we went into dance, those guys, like any cool person, were at the back of the class. You know, they weren't really dancing.
Yeah.
It's the other patients.
The ones who have nothing to lose.
They gave me 300% and they made me dance at 250%. I came out of that room in the beginning we were afraid of each other. After the class was over, we were taking selfies. Those patients were, I always say, they were in our armpits, we were in their armpits, like we were in each other.
Yeah.
The joy of it. Joy of it.
Now you're on mentally unstable people in your class every day.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I did that once a month for 3 straight months,
Wow.
3 straight years.
Wow.
It was the best hour each time. The absolute best. I would be so exhausted when I'd go back home. I would crash.
Yeah.
But it was so rewarding.
Good.
And so that's how I got into mental health advocacy. Just looking at them and thinking, what does it mean to be mad? What does it mean to be mentally unwell? And so every time I looked at them, I allowed my mind to open. And everything around me was feeding into me. Their stories, just everything was feeding into me. And I really understood mental unwellness from such a beautiful perspective.
Wow. And I know you didn't just stop at dancing with them. You've done lots of campaigns at the mental hospital.
Yes.
How has that journey been like?
It's been so beautiful. I love going to that hospital. I love the days when I would wake up in the morning and just drive and sit and watch them wake up, literally. But being able to to support them has been so special because they first of all, Butabika as a hospital needs everything. They need everything, which is good because if I take a sack of oranges, I am well received. When we did a partnership, my organization, Soul Foundation, and it was a tripartite.
You sound political right now.
I learned that word during that work. It was a tripartite agreement between MTN Foundation, KCCA, and Soul Foundation, which is my
Yes.
organization. So
Yeah.
we built toilets. It was worth 350 million. But anything from oranges to 350 million worth of toilets and bathrooms is just as special.
Yeah.
Just going in, taking clothes, because you can imagine these patients get admitted in whatever state they're in. The beauty with Butabika Hospital is that it's the only facility in Uganda, maybe even Africa, that takes on patients without a caregiver.
Oh.
You just take your crazy person and dump them there. Like, you're tired of them, leave them there, and the hospital will take care of them. So when it's time for them to leave, they don't have clothes. And some people actually spend 2-3 extra days
Trying
because
to
they have
figure
no
that
clothes.
out. Oh.
So even something that small was always so appreciated. So right now we do all kinds of things. We do an annual December festival. It is the most amazing thing. We cook up a storm. We get organizations to give us chicken. People give us rice. We've been given a whole bull twice, sausages, and
You have a cooking oil story that we shall not tell today.
I have so many stories about how I get these things, like, oh my God, but it's so exciting. We cook up a storm, but then it is top quality food that
Yeah.
you would have at a wedding.
Yeah.
And we involve so many people. The patients also get involved.
Who does the cooking?
It's a group of ladies.
Okay.
So I find ladies from my class, and every time we post the pictures, someone else is like, oh, please invite me. I cannot cook that food, like, to say, I can't. If it was by myself, it would never happen because I don't know how to cook for masses. But there are people out there who have not the time, but they're willing to sacrifice the time on that day. We start at about 3 a.m. in the morning, so that we serve lunch at 1 o'clock sharp. We make about 1,300 chapatis.
Wow.
It's
so a real
it's
event.
a real event. It's a real event.
Wow, Gerry. Now, I also know you have not stopped at dealing with real, clearly mentally unstable people who are dealing with real issues. You have this whole spirituality thing going on. Gerry, all your things go straight to the head.
They do, and I love it. I love it.
How did you end up there?
When I was opening my mind and allowing the universe to feed me with what is happening, I really opened it. And I started thinking, we are human beings, but we are spirit beings having a spiritual experience in a physical body and a physical world. What does that mean? Where is the spirit in everything that we do? Where is the spirit today? What is the connection that your spirit has with my spirit that led us to connect like this? From the time we met with Anita to now, there must be something is happening on another level that is leading us
We may
here.
not be cautious.
Yes. Now, with people who are suffering mental challenges, I'm like, how come you can hear voices and I can't? What are you hearing?
And when they can hear them, it's abnormal.
It's abnormal.
To us.
It's abnormal for us ordinary earthlings. So if somebody who looks like me, is human like me, has powers beyond what I have to hear, unfortunately, they want to now shut down that power and become normal.
To be normal.
And that is where their sickness comes from, for a lot of people. When people say, oh, this person is an alcoholic, or, they're mad or whatever, and then they say, but they're so brilliant. When they have a window, they're so intelligent. I keep saying it's that intelligence that makes them sick, because they are also saying, why am I speaking about the things I'm speaking about? I'm calling attention to myself. How do I know what I know? So they try to dumb themselves down, but their spirit inside is saying, hey, we have work to do. Come out. And they're like, no, I can't. Then, because they're not connecting with the people around them, they start to get sick.
Wow.
And I thought, how come you're able to see a spirit? How come you're able to see some shadow? What is that shadow? Because I've been in a room with a person who, and I'll say it now, this is like a first time. My sister, the one who struggles with addiction, when she was in senior 5, she came to live with me. And she would scream at night and say, there's a thing, it's there. You know, I tried to get scared, but I was like, I can't even deal with this.
Yeah.
I don't see anything.
Yes.
But what are you seeing? And she continued with this until, to numb it, she started drinking because she didn't want to go to bed. If you speak to anybody who is a powerful healer, even people in churches, if you talk to them, in their teenage years, there was some trauma, some turmoil that made them see or hear things. Some people as children would say, Mommy, that auntie is bad. Or they tell the auntie, you're not a good auntie. And the child would get beaten. Or they'll say, somebody, oh, I dreamt that Uncle so-and-so died, and then they die. And the child is told, shut up.
Yeah.
Yes, like they make them feel like, you know, children have all kinds of dreams, like they're swimming in water under the sea. There's a lady I know. She was always swimming, you know, very casually swimming in the ocean, like in the bottom of the ocean. And she was told in church, those are evil spirits, those are evil dreams, and so on. She said after a while, she stopped telling her mother that she was having the dreams because it was clear that her demons were too powerful. They were not going away no matter how much they prayed. Now, she's a powerful healer.
I wanted to come in at the point where you mentioned how can one person be able to see things that others don't see. And I was here thinking, and that is considered an abnormality.
Yes.
When you start seeing things that other people can't see in the physical, then you're deemed the one who is not straight.
Mm-hmm.
And then you mention how can, you know, a child say, oh, that person, I dreamt that person died, and then they died, and they stop talking about them because now they start looking like they're the ones who caused the death.
Exactly. Yeah. But they feel it still.
Wow, Gerry. We really can't exhaust this spirituality thing, but the times I've met you, you've always had these things. You see, even I am trying to be like you. I've so far got to.
Very well done.
I've so far got to. What are those things about, Gerry?
These are copper and brass bracelets. So I went on a journey. After a while, I said to myself, who am I? After the whole mental health thing, when I really opened, I said. So I started asking, who am I? Who am I as an African woman, as an Acholi woman? It actually took me back to my village after about 30 years.
Yeah.
And when I went back, I wanted to know who I was. I started looking out for things that we no longer use or things that have been demonized. I noticed these bracelets. People say only witch doctors wear these bracelets, cowrie shells and things like that. So I was going back to the village one day, and I went to the market in Gulu, and I found a section of the market where they sell all this juju stuff. I was like, oh my God. So I went and I sat. I started asking, so what's this for? What's this for? They had some of these bracelets. What's this for? And they say, oh, protection and blah, blah, blah. I was like, okay, this is cool. We stayed in that market for 2 hours, my sister and I, asking everyone who came to buy any charms why they were buying the charms. It was all healing, but a lot of protection for my business, protection. I said, these Africans, why the hell are they trying to protect themselves all the time? Like, who's attacking them?
Yes.
I told a friend of mine, and she said, what did the 3 wise men give Jesus when he was born?
Oh, yes.
I was like, myrrh, gold, and frankincense, I think.
Yes.
And so the minute I said the words frankincense, I was like, oh my God. She said, that is the Son of God. the 3 wise men gave him frankincense that is a protector, that chases away negative entities. So if the Son of God could get this from the wise men,
who were
are
told by
we?
an angel.
Thank you.
Jerry,
Thank
please
you.
don't take this.
Thank
is a good
you.
time to end this episode. No.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Who are we to not need that protection? Why don't we use the same thing that the wise men, as told by the angel? You know, I don't read the Bible. I've told you before. So when you say these things, I'm like, yes, I've got something else to use.
This is the part of the conversation I wanted to avoid, Jerry.
I know.
Because I can't do this. I need to invite my pastor. My pastor, if you ever see this, please forgive me, but you're the one supposed to be here having this conversation.
I take full responsibility for this part. But yeah, so I said, that's when I completely changed. So I bought the first bracelets because they were beautiful, but because I felt like there is truth in them, they're created by God. So why did he create them? With the energy that they hold. Yeah. I went back to the safe place, the Muzungu place, right? So I went to the internet. What is the spiritual benefits of brass or copper?
Yeah.
Blew my mind. It blew my mind. These things help balance our energies. But what are these energies? When these other entities, spirits, we're spirit beings. So our spirit is communicating not with the physical, with the spirits.
Yes.
So when our spirit is being bombarded by issues as is dictated by the physicality of where we are living, maybe you don't have transport, you've not eaten and so on, it makes the connection between you and your higher self weak. And so your soul that is here in the physical starts to wander, starts to linger. And now other souls come and start saying, you can't handle. Yesterday you didn't. Like for you, you are
finished.
You're just finished. Then we start to tip off. Now these bracelets help balance out the energy. They help give you a buffer. And this is why God created man last, after he had created everything that is going to help our spirit in this physical plane. From rocks to plants, those herbs, they tell us, you go and bathe with this herb. It is because if you read about those herbs, they also have a spiritual virtue that takes away negative entities.
You talked about Chogero the other day. If you have a baby, or at least in this city, Kampala, or you've had a Uganda babysitter or something, then you definitely know a thing or two about Chogero.
Yeah. So Chogero is that special...
I am not sure I want Jerry to break it down, but go ahead. It is
that special herbal mix. Like it's a concoction. If you see that people, it looks nasty. It's like this coffee, but has all manner of leaves and it looks really dirty. Your cute baby is stuffed in that, and then normally it should be an elder who takes the herbs and washes the baby with the herbs while they're kwogera. So they're talking, they're speaking over this child, and they're speaking positive things.
Yes.
The same things that you guys speak in church. You are the head and not the tail. You are all these things. But this person is speaking with these plants. Why? All the plants, they're very special plants that are used in a Chogero. All of them.
Yes, they are mixed.
Yes.
Different.
All of them have a very specific spiritual virtue. So if it's protection, you are protected. If it's something that multiplies, say your territory is multiplied, or what those words are. You will never lack, and all those things. What they're doing is they're activating that spiritual virtue of those plants and speaking those things onto this child, so that whatever the entity is that supports that plant now supports this child.
I have no doubt in my mind that there is a divine power that protects us. I have grown, I've been raised and taught and grown to know that God is watching over us. And because I look back at things that I have been through, that I have survived and you know, successfully managed or been through, that there's no logical way I could have gotten out of it if there was no higher power. That in my case, it's God. Our slight disagreement may be on which that higher power is right now.
There is no disagreement.
Oh, there's no
There's
disagreement.
absolutely no disagreement. I love God. I believe in God. My expression of God may be a bit different from yours,
Yeah.
but I definitely know and live with the knowledge that there is a higher power to whom I am a part. But when the fragment of him comes to earth, it is supposed to forget who it is as God, so that it can experience fully. So we come in here, we agree to forget, we agree to take on a body that slows us down. Because when as spirit, we're everywhere, anytime we want. But in the physical body, my body can only move.
Yes, be in one place at a time, move at a certain pace.
But because of that limitation, we're given support, because that limitation comes with so many other limitations. I want to be somewhere. My soul knows that it can be there in a flash, but I can't. I need a car. I need money. I need somebody to go with me. I need to be in good standing with whoever. Like, there's so many things that it also weighs us down and it becomes too much. Then when we sink too low, we need to remember that the same physical things around us can help us. Because God has said, you're going down there, it's going to be hard, sweetie, but if you can just remember, don't over forget, touch the rock, talk to the plants, go to the tree, the old tree. I love old trees. It has wisdom. Ask them. I am giving them all to you as support. I am here, I am God. But you don't see me. There are things that you see. And I give you the power to, as offer God, them, to activate them to give you exactly what you need. Now, witch doctors are doing exactly that, activating those same things, because they're neutral. They activate them to work against you. That's why we're afraid of them. But they know. In fact, anything that a witch doctor uses today, I want. Because if I speak positive with it, it works.
Gerry, this is a good time to end this conversation. I will tell
I'm only just starting.
It's 33 minutes and I don't like the direction you're taking in this conversation, Gerry. If you really, really would love to know more about what Gerry is talking about, the fitness, we are all good, the whatever. I know the unfinished business is on the spirituality with road of things. I'll share her number down in the description of this video. Call her up, chat her up, and have a conversation. Gerry also has a YouTube channel that where she shares most of these thoughts and opinions, and she's happy to engage anytime. I'll also share a link to her channel. Please engage her. And you never know. Like this morning, I knew a lot about you and your journey, but I didn't know you'd throw the spanner in the works of the three wise men. And Gerry, I need to avoid you. Anyway, thank you very much. Gerry, do you have any parting remarks, something you are prepared to say that I haven't triggered you to say?
I just want to say to people that we have to stop living in fear.
Yeah.
We have to stop living in fear of what we don't know.
Yeah.
The reason why we are struggling is because our soul is trying to take us somewhere. Somewhere that God wants us to go, actually. Because God wants us to fully understand his nature.
Yes.
beyond what we have been told, because a lot of what we know of God is given to us by somebody. Go and explore. Everyone is supposed to know him differently. And my purpose is to just let us know that it is so
Facilitate
beautiful.
and open the minds.
Yeah, so that you go. And if you feel like things are looking a bit dicey, call me, because I have seen dicey. And on the other side of dicey is always the most beautiful expression of God.
Sometimes I ask my guests what inspires them, a book, a movie, or something, but I'm scared of asking you.
Actually, nothing.
Please let it be the Bible.
No. No. Actually, the Bible triggers me. The Bible makes me upset. I don't like being on groups where people talk about the Bible. I don't like talking to people who throw Bible verses around. In fact, they used to really annoy me until I said, okay, this is a bit much. I need to release that because I feel like they are actually, I'm sorry, it is almost become an insult to God that the brain you have been given doesn't work anymore. As long as you throw a verse there, I don't know your context, but can we talk? Can we allow our minds to expand? And then we can understand. I can understand you, you can understand me. But, so I don't, the Bible is like really the last, like the farthest. I'm sorry.
Gerry, we part on a disagreement, but anyway.
People keep telling me, read the Bible. Like, not for, like read it like for another spiritual meaning. And like one
Gerry,
day maybe.
that book has everything.
But I find that everything in nature as well. Absolutely. There's nothing in the Bible that anyone has told me that I have not found anywhere by not reading. That's when I started openly. I've always struggled with that book. But that's when I openly started saying, I don't read the Bible and I don't need to read it to gain that wisdom. When I open, God gives me exactly what I need when I need it.
Thank you so much, Gerry, for coming. My takeaway and my assignment from here is to link you up for a coffee with one of my people who I know will happily realign you.
I would love that because I might
will realign you. Will realign you to come back home.
I think I'll realign them. I'll set them free. I'll set them free.
Thank you so much, Gerry. I look forward to more conversations. It was so good to have you here at Studio 84. I know we have a lot more to do going forward.
Thank you for taking the risk. Thank you for risking.
God bless you. And from me here at Studio 84, thank you very much for joining us. We'll look forward to the next episode where I'll be hosting and getting to know another person. Thank you, and God bless you.